What's up, Chiefs Kingdom? You are tuned in to the ArrowHead Chief Podcast, episode 146. This is the Chiefs versus Vikings preview show. It's our second show for this week. Told y'all we was going to give you our second show. It's not live, but we still giving you some more content. I got my guys in here. I got Clarence. I got Ty. I got Mark. And we about to give y'all some of that good stuff that we always give you. That Chiefs home cooking. Let's talk Chiefs.
Yeah, Arrowhead Chiefs. It's your girl, Miss Nicole. Queen of Hustle, baby. Started from the bottom, now we here. My homie at the start of his career. Let's go. Try to win him early, hear the truth. Tune in every Sunday for the juice. Arrowhead Chiefs podcast, bringing all the news. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Quick style. Out here rapping for the crew. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube. If you missed the play, come back for reviews. Post game highlights, go subscribe on YouTube.
Welcome back, Chiefs Kingdom, Arrowhead Chief Podcast, episode 146.
Charlie.
Hope y'all having a good. Well, this will be Saturday morning, but it's Friday night for us. But what's going on, fellas? What's up, Clarence?
Good evening, trying to be.
What's going on? What's going on, Ty?
Feeling good. It's Red Friday. Ready for this game this weekend.
DJ Ant, what's cracking?
I'm trying to figure out what in the world is going on with K-State right now. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Who cares? Who gives a damn about K-State?
Nobody. Well, y'all know y'all like to make big things, big deals about Big 12 and all that.
K-State is okay. I'm not going. Okay.
You know, it's just the only thing that's going on in football right now. Ain't nothing else going on. But other than that, no. Pretty much.
Do it. Tell me not to do it, Ty. I ain't gonna do it.
You better not do it.
What you want me to tell you? I was watching a couple of recaps for the Chiefs games or something like that. Is that what you want me to do? Or because now we're not talking about KU football. Is that the problem?
What?
You ready for that? You ready for that Red River rivalry, or whatever they call it now?
Yeah, for sure. All right, fellas, let's go ahead and get into it. Tell of the tape, man. Let's talk about it. As you can see,
we ain't talking about K-State. Yeah.
We talking about Chiefs and Vikings right now.
I'm with it. I'm on the Chiefs and Vikings. K-State.
As you see, offensively, we're pretty even. You know what I'm saying? We average more points per game. We average more yards per game. They average more passing yards, but we average more rushing yards per game. So this is going to definitely be the test of the offenses on both sides. You got Justin Jefferson, Addison. They add Cam Akers with Madison in there, and what's his name? What's the tight end name?
TJ Hawkinson.
TJ Hawkinson. So they're going to be a formidable offense for sure. Like it's not going to be some cakewalk. You know, this defense will get tested. And defensively, you know, we're way better than them. We're only giving up 294.5 yards a game. They're averaging 344 giving up. We're only giving up 190 passing. They're giving up 233.5. We're giving up 104 rushing yards. They're giving up 111. That's the only one that's kind of even. But other than that, we're better than them defensively. So our defense should fare well against this offense. You know what I'm saying? And this will be a good test for this defense to see if this defense is for real. You know what I'm saying? Because these are some for real offensive pieces. Kirk Cousins, say what you want about him. He still can fling that football around. And like I said, you got all those weapons. The floor is yours, fellas. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, I agree with what you said. Our defense is a little bit better than theirs. Their defense is, I would say, actually a lot better because their defense is ranked towards the bottom of the league. I think they're ranked like 29th right now. They're struggling. You know, their defense is struggling. They blitz a lot, which is something to watch for this game. They blitz like 57% of the time this year. with Brian Flores coming in. I don't think you'll be able to do that this week, obviously, against the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. We know how good he is against the blitz. So they're going to have to change philosophies a little bit coming into this week. I do expect them to change philosophies because you just can't get away with blitzing that much against Patrick Mahomes. And then, like you said about their offense, is very formidable. They got a lot of weapons over there. They added some pieces this offseason, getting Cam Akers, Jordan Addison, and then paying the tight end TJ Hawkinson that money. So they got a lot of weapons. It's going to be a huge test for the secondary for Trent McDuffie and L'Jarius Sneed, who I'm very high on right now as being one of the best cornerback duos in the league. So this is going to be probably the biggest test for them this season. So that's going to be interesting to watch for sure.
All right. I'm not even gonna talk about the defense side of the ball at all. What was that number that the offense was averaging for the Vikings? What were they averaging? 21, something like that.
21 points.
Yeah, 21.
Okay.
They're ninth in offense. We're third.
Take that game out against the Bears. The Chiefs ain't averaging more than what the Vikings are putting up. They would be averaging 20.3. Mm-hmm. This is a call out to the receiving corps to see exactly what they're capable of. Is it a fluke? Is it a real issue? That's where the call out is for me. Just looking at this, like, despite what the defense is and the special teams, we can talk about them all day. If this receiving corps cannot get separation against this defense, they got a real issue. I know we talked about this as far as with the rating it, where do we have it? 1 through 10, all this stuff. I call it about a 5-6. If they still sitting it around that 21-point mark and they still can't get any open, that number is going to drop down from about a 5-6. Is going to be, my confidence level in that receiving corps is going to be about a 3. Because that's just the reality of the only reason why it's inflated is because of the Bears game. And without that game, their numbers are down. So it's like there is no other way to look at it but just to call out the receiving corps. What are you going to do about it? Everybody's on tape. Everybody's on notice. And realistically, just kind of like having a couple of conversations and everything. This could be one of those, when the consecutive road games, sometimes I have a little concerns with that because sometimes they have tendencies to come out flat and all that. If this offense come out flat again, they will struggle in this game, especially when you're talking about somebody like with Justin Jefferson on the other side. Granted, you put all the comments you want in this defense, and Nick Bolton, I believe, is supposed to be back this week. If they're not careful with Jefferson and Hawkinson, they're going to be in for one of those long fluke games that, where the Chiefs did a no-show if they're not careful.
Go ahead, Clarence.
So, I'm looking it up. They barely beat Carolina 21-13. Minnesota did. But one of the telling things is Alexander Madison had 17 carries for 95 yards. Cam Akers had 5 for 40. The time of possession, Carolina actually held the ball longer at 38 minutes to Minnesota's 21. So if Nick Bolton is not 100%, he does not need to play in this game. Because if they found some success in the running game, which it looks like Minnesota did finally, not to say that they'll be able to do that against the Chiefs, but you got Cam Akers there who is a change of pace, and maybe he get hot in that game. You just never know. But you don't want them to be able – you don't want Kirk Cousins to be able to find TJ Hawkinson and let TJ Hawkinson have a day. Carolina held him to 2 catches for 34 yards. Justin Jefferson got off. Give me 1 second. I want to see something else too. Okay, yeah. So basically, it was basically a survival game for Minnesota and Carolina, which that's not to say that that's a bad thing, because when Carolina went up to Seattle, they was down one of their top run defending linebackers in that game, and the game was still very close. So that defense, Carolina can play good defense. Minnesota was just able to find the running game when they needed it to win this game. So Kansas City going into Minnesota this week, like, the onus has to be on more so this defense not getting overwhelmed with Minnesota's offense at home and what they try to build upon from last week. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
if they found it, and from what I've heard, uh, just watching Kingdom Cast, like from the looks of it, Alexander Madison has had like two of these games back to back now. You know what I'm saying? So I'm guessing he's found his rhythm, and Cam Akers coming along. Like that can be something that they can get overwhelmed with being in that dome and that crowd. You know what I'm saying? Like that's one of them recipes. So if Nick Bolton's not 100%, I mean, you have to try to survive with Drew and pass coverage against that tight end, and that tight end is going to win. Obviously, Justin Jefferson is going to win. You just have to limit it, and that's going to be the challenge. Like they could find themselves down by 10 to 17 on the road and have to find some things out in this passing game, which I mean, it could be a plus too. You know what I'm saying? Like putting them in desperation mode, making guys have to fight through the adversity. A Ray Rice, or I'm sorry, a Rasheed Rice, a Sky Moore, making them have to fight through that adversity in that dome because that dome's gonna be rocking. It might be good for them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Um, the one thing I will say is this could be a Chris Jones game. Um, their center, Garrett Bradbury, he's dealing with a back issue. Now he's playing, but he's dealing with a back issue. So that could be a recipe for Chris Jones to get off and do his thing. And the defensive line period, the Mike Danas, guys like that,
Kirk,
they can Kirk,
Kirk.
they can
Yep.
yeah, they can kill it in the middle of the field. That interior offensive line, because their tackles are pretty good, but that interior offensive line is something to be desired for. So that's probably where they'll probably Spags will probably attack them, and use Chris Jones a lot, Mike Dana, like I said. So and even use George in the middle too sometimes, switch him in and out. Um, so that would be even in the run game, using Chris Jones and setting the edge is going to be important in this game. Carl Loftus, he's pretty good at that. Chris Jones is good at that. Mike Dana is really good at that. So um, they're going to have to be stout. And these linebackers are going to be important as far as Nick Bolton goes. I'm with you. If Nick Bolton isn't 100%, especially with a short week, we got to play a turnaround game against Denver on Thursday.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Um, don't even if he's not fully healthy, then
But,
don't play him.
but hold on, check this out.
Yeah.
So peep this. So like I told y'all, Carolina won the time of possession, right?
Mhm.
Bryce Young was 25 or 32 for 204, albeit, but Thielen had 7 for 76. Terrence Marshall had 9 for 56. Shark had 2 for 28. Even Miles Sanders caught a couple out of the backfield. So Minnesota secondary can be had. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They can get
Yeah,
got.
definitely.
It's just a matter of what I think, like basically like what we talked about Monday. Like,
Yep.
can they get some
Mm-hmm.
more designated roles in that
Yeah.
passing
Mm-hmm.
at that
Well,
wide receiver position?
hopefully what we see is more Rishi Rice working off of Trav,
Yeah.
in the middle of that field. Um, I think he's best suited for that Juju role that they've been
Yeah,
looking for. They
yeah,
wanted Sky to do it, but I don't think that's Sky's role. I don't think that's
yeah.
what his
He's
strengths
struggling.
are. And plus he's a little small for that role. I think
Mhm.
you need a more bigger body receiver in the middle of the field. Juju's a big guy. He's 6'1", he's 215. Like he's
Yep.
not a small dude. And
Yeah.
Rasheed Rice is kind of that build too. He's like 210, 6 foot, 6'1". So and he has a way more burst than Juju had last year. And if you can get Rasheed Rice to do Juju's role, then this offense can come into form because mind you, they won the Super Bowl with that offense last year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if we can get, and that's the defined role right there, is to get somebody who can play Juju's role, and then the rest will follow suit. MVS can be the deep threat like he should be. He's the deep threat guy. He's the big play guy. You sprinkle in a Justin Watson, a Kadarius
Right.
Toney for the big plays too, and then Sky Moore he could work in the slot, and more so and do more crossers and dig routes and stuff like that. And you can use him on the end arounds and jet sweeps because he looks like he's a little bit more faster. Last year, he looked slow when he tried to do a jet sweep. This year, he looks way faster and he looks more confident when he does it. So That's something to look out for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I agree,
Um,
especially with what you said about the receivers. I think that's what we're looking for right now. It's that Juju role. I mean, you can say what you want. He was the number one wide receiver last year, and it was very clear of that because in those third down situations, Mahomes went to him the most outside of Kelsey. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what we're looking for. Somebody over the middle of the field, like you said, the playoff Kelsey. And I think Rasheed Rice is ready for that. I think he's
mhm.
been ready. So I think we'll see it more this game, hopefully.
I think you're right. I think he on his way and stuff like that. I think the question though, even dealing with the receiver room, I know the question is far with Justin Russell started to dig a little deeper and all that stuff, and then just based on as far as what they were saying with Nagy, he said he wasn't quite ready yet. He still got some stuff that he's got to learn. It's going to you might be able to see him more. They plan on implementing him more like in the later parts of the season and stuff like that. But I think the question is like we're all basically on the same page where it sounds like who is going to be that receiver that's going to say I want the ball, who's going to take over. That's why with this Minnesota, it's going to be the opportunity to be able to see that. I mean, Minnesota got some holes, and as Clarence he pointed out the numbers clear as day as far as there is some vulnerabilities there. But somebody's got to step up and be that guy because I don't even think they have a guy that's in the top 50 or something like that when it comes to even receptions or anything like that.
Mhm.
And it's not a good look. You don't have Super Bowl teams built like that. It just doesn't happen. It's like we don't have that guy.
Right.
I don't even know if he's in the top 75. I mean, I had to double check and go a little bit deeper on that. But they gotta implement and figure out something to be able to get these receivers open, get these receivers the ball. Andy Reid, him being the creative mind, I'm pretty sure they'll figure something out. I mean, we're heading into that like the second quadrant of this season, stuff like that. I think we're gonna give it a little bit more clarity. But I think as far as Clarence was very adamant in throwing that point out there as far as like the receivers and everything. Who's going to be that guy that's going to get the ball? And who can you depend on a big third down? And we hadn't seen it yet in the first four games. Let's just be honest. We have yet to see it. So that is
Yeah.
a sore spot, as far as it within this Chiefs offense. It's not in Mahomes' numbers. If you look at it, that's the proof. I mean, his numbers are down, and he was trying to hit some of those touch passes. He missed on them, and he's just trying to add
and,
more elements to the game. It's something got to grow in.
and that's another factor of it too. Mahomes got to play better too. He's not above approach. It's not just the receivers not getting over it. They're we have seen plays in all 22 when people pointed out the guys are getting open. There are dudes that's just uh, Mahomes is not releasing the trigger. I don't know if it's
Maybe because he doesn't trust him
It's
enough.
and
it's
I get
that
all that, but you got. I mean,
I understand that, but
no, it's but
like,
even so, no. Here's the thing about
hold on real quick.
no. Go ahead.
Hold on real quick. It's just like remember when Sammy first got here and we
Mhm.
already had Reek and they had brought in Cole and DeMarcus. He was feeding Sammy first,
Yeah.
Travis.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so I don't know if he just feels more comfortable with vets, like because he knows that they've done it in them situations more. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like Juju ate last year.
Well, that was the difference
Like,
too. Is that last year coming into the season, we knew the clear cut who was the number one, or
Yeah.
the guy who was going to be next to Travis getting those catches, and it was Juju. It was already set in stone in training camp. Coming out of training camp, we knew Juju was going to be that guy that was going to get the other catches off of Travis Kelsey, and everybody else was just going to fall in line. The Justin Watsons, even when we got Kadarius Tony, you know, Noah Gray, some of those guys. Um,
MVS.
yeah, MVS. So that's the difference between this year and last year is that we don't have that definitive number two guy. And that's what they got to
Right.
figure out. And I think we all feel like the potential is in Rasheed Rice. He's got to work on the drops. Because if he continues to drop the ball, that's going to make Pat hesitant to throw him the football. Especially if it's
Yeah.
like in a crucial moment, we playing a big time team and we need it, or we playing like the Broncos or the Raiders or the Chargers, and it's a minute something left, and we marching
Buffalo,
down the
Cincy.
field. Yeah, we marching down the
Yeah.
field, and he throw the Rasheed, and I ain't trying to speak it, but he dropped the pass, the game winning ball, and he gonna now it's like, ugh, you know what I'm saying? And then Pat really ain't
The
gonna
problem
trust
with
him.
that,
So we
Chris,
got
is who's he going to trust? Because everybody's had drops. I mean, on this receiving
I
core, I
mean,
mean, who could you trust right now?
it's a combination of both because even so with those touch passes, I was disturbed. I'm like, why in the world would he try to throw? It's like, what was he looking at? What did he
Yeah.
see? What was going on? And I was just trying to think. It's like it was a quarterback just came to mind and everything. And it's like as much as he's been on the bad side, I gotta admit, I gotta give him his props and everything. But he had a different receiving core. What he was trying to do was fucking some of those passes were some of the things that Aaron Rodgers did with some of those touch passes, like those drop passes. I can't explain it. It's just he had that right touch, but he also had the right receiving core to do it. And it's going to be a combination. It's going to take time for that to work. Now, if he can perfect that element to his game and everything, that's going to make this team trouble because he's with Aaron Rodgers, he had that ability to drop some of those touch passes in the right spots in the open areas before they even got there. And Mahomes, I believe, is trying to get there. I think that's probably the next element of his game and where he can take it to a whole nother level. Is
and
that I
and I
think
know, and I think another thing is that last year Mahomes, the offense had to do it. Even though they were scoring high level, they had to do it a different way. You know what I'm
running
saying? They had
backs,
Yeah.
running backs, they had to
yeah,
chip, take what the defense give. It wasn't a lot of big plays last year. And I
two
think
safety
Mahomes
high.
missed that because he touched on that in press conferences in the offseason that are we working on, getting more big plays down the field. And I think he missed that. And so
Yeah.
Yeah,
he forcing them downfield, and it's
Well,
like you can't
yeah.
do that right now.
Well, one of the other big things, and this is just league wide,
Mhm.
everybody's dropping too deep. You look
Yeah.
at
yeah.
every defense got two high safeties. You know what I'm saying? Every top offense is seeing that look.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Is
So
that
it's not just Pat that's dealing with it. I
no
mean,
the
it's
Yeah.
your top teams,
The
and it's a
Bills.
matter of
The,
can you methodically work and get a drive, 17, 13 play drives together and take them
it
down the
don't
field,
even
pick them apart.
it don't even have to be the top teams. I think the proof of it was just even looking at the statistically league wide. I think there was like 6 or 7 teams that couldn't score a touchdown. I mean, if you can't figure it out one way as it is, you're gonna have that. I mean, to have 6 or 7 teams that can't score a touchdown, especially in this part of the season, you'd have thought it was a bunch of cold games, like in 12-degree weather, and it's just that's just what you would have thought. But like we still having nice weather, they can't get touchdowns and get creative as far as they open
It,
up the offense a little
it
bit.
shifted because in years
Yeah.
past it used to be it would take the defenses time to get caught up to the offenses. You know, that
Mm-hmm.
first part of the year, offenses you see them explosions, offenses just going crazy because the defense was so far behind.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
Whereas like we thought it was I really thought it was going to be more so last year that defense would catch up like I was telling y'all, but it's like this year like it's really caught all the way up to these offenses to the
Mm-hmm.
point where
mhm,
these defenses are designed to make teams have to take long drives, and
yeah.
either one
Mm-hmm.
you're going to punt that ball away, or two you're going to give us a turnover. We're going to get a turnover
Right.
because there's no way you're going to be able to go 13, 15 plays without us turning it over. You're going to be tired. You're going to have mental mistakes. You're going to make a bad throw. So we're either going to get that punt or we're going to get that turnover from you. You know what I mean? And the top quarterbacks aren't going to turn the football over at a high rate. So they're punting. And these defenses are
mhm,
just on it right now. Like
yeah,
these
yeah,
secondaries are no joke. That's why I
yeah.
think it was who was that? I think it was Justin Reed. Maybe had made no Jalen Hurts actually. Jalen Hurts was talking about how hard it is to win in the National Football League.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
How hard it truly is to win a game in that league because these defenses are no joke.
Well, Andy Reid talks about it all the time. He always talks about it all the time that the margin of error in this league is
Yeah.
slim. It's
Small.
small.
Yeah.
I mean, the worst team in the league can beat you. You know what I'm saying? At any given Sunday. That's why I say any given Sunday. If you slip up, you saw it yesterday. Everybody thought the Bears was going to lose that game against the Commanders, and they came out and smoked the Commanders. You know what I'm saying? So it's any given Sunday, man. Thursday or whatever day. Monday, teams can come out and show some stuff, and you get punched in the mouth. You know what I'm saying? If you're not ready, if you're not on your A game. So, um, I'm not, I'm not panicked yet. with this receiving core because I think these 3 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks, these receiving core can get right. You know what I'm saying? With the Vikings, with the Broncos,
And the
Chargers.
Chargers.
And
You
then
know what I'm
Broncos
saying?
again.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that they can figure themselves out in these next 4 weeks and get it right before we got to go to play Germany and play Miami. Because we definitely gonna have to be on our A game if we're gonna beat Miami in Germany. Because you can
Yeah.
see them boys can score at a fast rate. They got so much
Even
speed out there. So
even so, I mean, basically after when they do that, and say then those 4 games after that, I think that's when they hit the heart of their schedule because I think in that heart of their schedule with those 4 games after you have Miami, then you come home and you have that bye week, then you play the Eagles, and then I think somewhere in there you have the Bills right after that too. So that's where you're really going to find out what this team is about. That's why there's no greater time than for the receiving core to figure it out now, especially when the critical division games that starts to kick in because you cannot fall behind. We don't expect them to fall behind, to the Broncos and even the Chargers, but that's just the bottom line.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And something Mark mentioned too, I was gonna circle back around on
Go ahead.
about the about the offense in general, but specifically the receiving core. Most of them yards did come against the Bears. I mean, if you take that game away from this offense is taking a significant step back from last year.
Ty, what did you say that stat was for Trav?
0.0
Zero.
passer rating when targeted in man coverage.
Damn,
Yeah.
it's bad.
That's including the Bears
Oh, it's
game.
bad.
That's
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's
including the
bad.
Bears game.
It's bad.
I'm gonna give Trav the benefit of the doubt. I think he's
No,
still that bone bruise is still
He
messing
said,
with him.
no, 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 no.
He's still recovering. He's still recovering.
Hell to the no. No, don't do that.
Let's see.
Chris.
Let's see. It's still
No,
early.
no, 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 no.
Let's see.
hey,
Okay,
Chris,
let's
was
Chris,
see.
Chris.
Trav
his
deserves the
34th
benefit of the
birthday
doubt.
was yesterday,
Did
right?
that bruise hurt against the Bears? Because he was out there grinning and skinning, wasn't he?
But you act like he had
On
like
his team,
150
he was
yards.
flexing that mustache, man. You'd have thought he was El Trabador with a bar of
But
tequila
you
out there,
act
the
like
sombrero.
but you act like Travis had like 120 yards. He only had
I
like
mean, it was a
69
Travis game.
yards.
It was a Travis game, wasn't
Yeah, yeah, not really.
it? Yeah, yeah.
Eh,
What's
That
a
was
what's a normal Travis game?
at least 67 catches and at least a buck 20 and a couple of
It was the
touchdowns.
Bears. They was blowing them out. They found some shit, right?
They
Was
were
they
they were
not?
sitting well in the
then they
fourth.
took him out.
They were sitting in the
Yeah.
fourth.
Yeah, and they sat in the
But
fourth.
still, but still,
Okay, so Sunday night, the knee was still hurting Chris.
I'm not saying it is hurting all the way, but I'm gonna give it still. He needs recovery. Like I'm not gonna kill him yet. Trav deserves a leeway
And
until I
I'm
see
not saying he don't need
a
a
full
leeway.
season of him not beating man
Chris,
coverage. Then we can
y'all
talk
see
about it.
see this what chat my ass. Every time I say something, y'all feel like I'm saying just bury him. I ain't saying bury Trav. That's not what I'm
I'm not
saying.
saying you saying
Yeah,
bury him.
me
I'm
either.
just like,
I'm just saying for me, let me get at least week 10 before I'm like,
well,
yeah, he's
I'm on
done.
board with
He's
Ty.
done. He's done.
I'm with
He's
Ty
done.
in what he feel about Travis then.
I mean, yeah, it's
That's
very
what I think.
I'm
uncharacteristic.
just
And
saying, look, I'm
He
not
can't get
saying
over it.
Travis is washed or anything, but his 34th birthday was yesterday.
Okay, I understand that. I understand that.
I mean, at
I
some
But
mean,
point, you
I'm
got to
still
lose a step in the NFL. Everybody does. Every
mm,
player's, I
and I'm
mean,
not
every
saying
player
he's not.
ever's
I'm
lost
not
a
saying,
step.
but I gotta see it for a full season first
Right.
before
No,
you. I'm
no,
gonna.
I
It's only
understand
been a
that.
quarter. I'm not gonna sit there and
See,
say, "Yeah,
boy,
Travis can't
Chris
get
ready
over
to
it."
take that hat off.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do that. I'm
he's
just saying.
Steven.
I'm
No,
not stealing.
no,
I'm
I
just
get
saying.
that.
No, you
I
ain't gonna talk
understand
about
that.
Travis now. That's what you
I
ain't gonna do.
respect that. I respect that. Ain't
I'm
nothing
just
wrong with
saying.
that.
I think
I'm gonna
Trav
put him
deserves
off.
a little leeway. You talking about
and, it,
Sky Moore or something? I'll be like, oh, you might be right.
and even so with the Jets game and everything, I can't
He
discredit
said,
as far as
Yeah,
I can't
you might be
discredit what the
right.
Jets
You might be
did though,
on.
as far as with that team too. Just like that team as a whole, I thought they did as far as defensively, they did an excellent job as far as they being able to maintain the sheet. But at the same time, you still got questions about Travis and everything, but gotta wait and see. Gotta wait it out.
For sure. All right, fellas. On offense, if this team wants to win, what do they have to do?
Run the ball.
I
Score
agree
more than
with
the other
that.
team.
Shut up,
Run the ball.
Yeah.
Duh.
It's simple.
Yeah, I agree with Clarence. I think it's got to be a balanced attack in this game. You're going to have to run the ball 20 plus times, and we'll see if they do it. And I'm talking about 20 plus times, split between Pacheco, McKinnon, and Clyde getting some touches, 2 or 3 touches potentially. Hopefully not, but we'll see. But yeah, they're going to have a balanced attack, and then play action off of that, and just open this defense up, and let's make it easier on the receivers. Instead of expecting them to do all this complex stuff so early. In the season
Simplify.
when we got a lot of new guys. Yeah, exactly. Simplify it. That's right.
they, for me, I mean, that's all good, but they got to minimize the turnovers though, because that's the previous games, like even Detroit and everything. Basically, what cost them against Detroit was a turnover. What almost cost the Chiefs realistically was a turnover. You gifted the Jets 9 points basically when it's all said and done. If they can't minimize these turnovers, then they're going to struggle. Even if they just have one, and the dangerous thing about it, that one could be at the worst opportunity, at the worst moment in the world. And that's the concern. Is that they had two, could have had 3 or 4 realistically in that last game. So they gotta win that turnover battle and keep that under control.
And they don't want it to get out of control up there in Minnesota. They got that motherfucker riding around on the damn motorcycle, boo boo, and they get the skull, like it'll get out of control on them quick. You know what I'm saying? They'd be like, man, let's go shopping over at the damn mall. Like, I ain't signing up for this. We ain't gonna make it out of here. They got the bus on stilts. What we doing? Like, you don't want it to get out of control because think about it.
No, not there.
Dallas, remember that big game last year? Dallas went up to Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
It was a 3 o'clock game. It was the big game on Fox. Dallas jumped on Minnesota quick and blew them out.
Yep. I remember that game.
Only way you can get them there.
That's when they
Yeah.
start getting called frauds in a heartbeat.
Yes, you have to get them.
Yeah.
You have to get them quick because if not, that crowd gets into it, and before you know it, Kirk Cousins gets life. He starts making plays that you don't see him making. You know what I'm saying? Alexander Madison gets a screen and he busts it 68 yards, and you're like, where did this come from? The defense, the defensive line gets a sack, pressure pat, funnel him to the right, he throws something, it's a pick. Like, all of this goes down when you give them life. If you don't jump on them correctly in that building, because that building will swallow you up.
Yeah.
It's tough to win there, man.
Yeah.
It's tough to win there.
Not no penalties on this
Yes.
offensive line. On
That's
this
the other
offensive
thing.
line.
That's
Yes.
the
No
other thing
drive,
too.
no
I'm
drive
targeting you,
killing.
but they
They are
targeting
targeting.
you
No,
too,
they are
Chris.
targeting.
Like,
No, I
They
agree.
are.
I agree. They
you know
are
what I'm
targeting.
saying?
They
Mhm.
are
They are.
targeting.
But he still did have the face mask last week too, though.
Yeah.
Albeit, but they picking on him too, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, come on,
They
man.
are.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree with that. But I'm just saying, I'm talking about the penalties that they can't control. You know what I'm saying? Like, no
Right. The
penalties, no
holdings.
drive killers when Pat throws a first down and we down on 18, and then next thing you know, a flag come out, and now it's a drive killer. Now we in,
You
we in
can
first and 20. You know what I'm saying? We don't want a lot of those because
you
that's
can
another thing that kills our drives too. It's not just the
It
receivers and all the
it's
stuff
been a
that we
lot of
complain about.
penalties.
It's the penalties that's been killing a
Yeah.
lot of our drives and stuff like that. So we got to minimize those. You know what I'm saying? Of course,
Mhm.
you're going to get a penalty here and there, but not too many of them to where they break open the game and they keep the Vikings in the game. You know what I'm saying? Making it easier on their defense because it's not like their defense is world beaters. They're 20th in the league. You know what I'm saying? They're not that good. They got a decent pass rusher with Danielle Hunter. That's all. I think that's all they really got. So,
In
like I said,
Yeah.
74 games, Kirk Cousins is 45-29 at home.
yeah.
Is a 60% win percentage at home.
He's
135
like I said,
touchdowns. He's got a 2.0 interception rate average.
yeah, he'll turn the ball over now.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, he's averaging
Yeah, they
259
will.
a game at home. 50 135 TDs, 50 INTs. Yeah. So I mean, he can get hot, man. And
He can't
they're
get.
trying to climb out of this hole.
Right. That's another thing. They're 1-3, heading
I
into
mean,
this game. This might be a must win in their eyes, for the playoff
Oh,
hopes. You don't want to
wow.
I mean,
start out 1-4.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh,
it
wow.
kind of it kind of is, it kind of isn't, only because just where the rest of the teams are in that division. I mean, the only
Right.
exception to that rule is the Bears, but I mean, there's still time.
Well, they would
Obviously,
be tied with the Bears if they lose this game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because Green Bay is what 2-2, and Detroit's 3-1.
Yeah, I mean, they're still close. I mean, I can understand if somebody, if they were like 2 or 3 teams, is clearly blowing them
They
out the
gotta
water,
win
but it's
this
early.
game no more because I mean,
You
Detroit's
got
three and
to.
one, and Detroit is like they got a firm grip on it.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you
Detroit
probably
understands where they are.
But I would be surprised if 2 teams make it out of this division in the
I don't
playoffs,
think
especially
so.
in the
not the no,
NFC.
not the
I don't
North,
think so.
not the
Especially in the
North.
NFC. In the NFC, though.
No, because
I
I
think the
got
West.
I'm saying in the
I
North.
got I
don't think
got I
two
got
teams
two
make it
coming
out.
out the West.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
NFC South,
Okay, 2 in the
one.
West, two in
Potential.
the East.
Yeah.
What about the North?
That's what I'm
One.
saying. It could be 2.
I think
You
it's
think
gonna be
it's gonna
one.
be two? I don't
There's
think
only
so.
going to be
I
one
only
coming
see
out of the
one.
South.
Nah.
So,
If it
There's
is
only-
The
if
South
it is
stinks.
2, I think it would be the Packers being that second team out the North.
I think the Commanders get that last spot this year.
I think Rivera better need to
Not
get
after what
together.
I seen last night.
Rivera, what ticked me off about
unless they
Rivera is
fire him and make the enemy the coach.
Y'all
and
basically
he take
Exactly.
over.
Okay,
no,
so it's just like
I
somebody
want
made a comment on somebody made a comment that EB was bad after one night. I was like, so you
no,
gonna
that,
No, we're not
no,
saying that.
no,
after
that,
one
that
night?
wasn't it.
After
No,
That
one
wasn't
night?
it.
I'm not talking about the enemy. I'm talking about
We're
River
talking about
Road
Ron
Ron.
Rivera.
No, if
Yeah,
anything-
Oh,
Time to
no,
go.
no. I
It's
mean,
time to go. It's time to
No.
it
go.
is.
If
The
there's
game
who's
is passed him by.
and who's next in line when Rivera's gone?
Yeah,
EB, that's
And
what
he's
we're
calling the
saying.
offense, so I'm with that.
No.
I totally support that decision.
But the Washington game, this is what literally turned the whole
Jack
thing
Del Rio
around, which
can go
made
with
no
two.
sense. This is typical Rivera. They had momentum. I think they were down 16 at one point, and then they had like a 4th and 3, and they had the momentum. Of course, conservative Rivera is, he go out there and decide to settle for a field goal when there's only like 3 minutes left into the third quarter. I'm like, this is pretty much a ride or die moment and everything. You got to go for that kind of stuff. But instead, he opted to go for the conservative way and kick the field goal. And then you want to have him jumping and taking risks. I'm like, you can't have. I mean, Fuller was trying to jump, and you want to have him take the risk when it was too late, when they should have took the risk early in the game. That's where the game was lost. I'm like, and this is exactly what's going to get Rivera sent off, because he don't take risks at the right time. He an old school coach. He an old head. He ain't gonna last long coaching like that. That's what got him the accident in Carolina. I mean, granted, Carolina was a bad team going down the stretch, but still, dude's got to take risks instead of just punt.
Since
Got to
the
go
Super
for it.
Bowl season, Ron Rivera has had 1 winning season.
Yep, that's true.
It's time to go. And now, look, I
Yeah.
understand Ron had the cancer situation. I'm glad he's recovered from that. We ain't talking about that. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Right.
glad
Gotta
he's
go.
healthy.
About football.
We talking about football.
You gotta go.
He got all right. He gotta go. Yeah, he gotta go.
R.I.P.
And
Ronnie.
Jack Del Rio can go with him too.
Yeah, that defense they got all that talent on that defensive line. And I was expecting them to be able to get off on the Chicago Bears, because their offensive line has been terrible this year. And that defensive line was getting pushed around all night.
Mhm.
The whole game they got pushed around.
They did.
The Bears are tired of getting embarrassed. That was more so for themselves, and good for them. That's just when it's all said and done. They did what they needed to do. I mean, Washington, I know they were coming off that tough loss, overtime going against the Eagles, stuff like that, and they came out flat after that, and they never recovered.
That is true. And plus, Dick Buck has passed away, so I think they had a little bit to do with it too. They had a little juice for the Buckets. Let's do it for the Buckets.
Well, they sent him off right, or he sent himself off.
But on defense, fellas, if the Chiefs want to win on defense, what do they have to do?
Turn Kirk Cousins into typical primetime Cousins. Get a couple of sacks, a couple of INTs somewhere in there.
I say make them one-dimensional. If you shut down that run game and you make Kirk Cousins throw over 40 to 50 times, he's gonna throw a pick. He might
He
throw
was
a
12
couple.
and
Yeah.
19 on Sunday in Carolina.
See, he
Mhm.
will throw
Yeah.
a pick.
That tells you right there.
He's
And they
like, I
still
mean,
won, even though he had a turnover in that game. So that tells you right there.
he
If we can keep Justin Jefferson 80, I'll take 80 yards and a touchdown. That you know
I'll
what I'm
take
saying?
100 yards. I mean, under 120 is good with me.
But if we can get him at 80 and a tug, then that's fine.
He had
I'll
he had
take that.
he had 6 for 85 with 2 TDs on Sunday. And TJ had 3 targets, 2 catches for 24 yards.
Hmm.
I think
But I
there was
think
a stat.
Yeah,
There's a stat that if
expected.
Justin Jefferson gets 120, when he gets 120 yards and a touchdown or 2 touchdowns, the Vikings are like 19-8 or something like
I
that.
want to see
Yeah.
them. I wonder what that score differential is too, because I'm pretty sure they probably beaten teams by at least 14 or more in them games.
mhm.
Yeah,
You know what
I
I
just
mean?
said,
Like
Yeah.
if you let him get that, it's a long day.
yeah, it is. The
Yeah.
Pat
But
One
and the
thing.
offense got to be on point.
I don't
Yeah.
think Snead and Trent would allow him to get that anyway. Like
No, I don't think
I
so.
see him being a 6 for 85 kind of game again. Like I don't see them,
Well,
you know,
the
KJ
person, the person,
Osborne and what's his name? Addison.
Hawkinson.
Addison.
Oh,
Yeah,
Addison.
they're gonna
yeah,
have to make some plays
the
because
Yeah.
I
dude that
think
scares me the most, the dude that scares me is DJ Hawkinson.
exactly because
Justin
Yeah.
they
Reed.
that
Justin Reed.
that's the biggest concern. I mean, Justin Jefferson, yeah, he's a big deal. We all know that. But these Chiefs linebackers, if they struggle with Hawkinson, let him have a big day, that can be a problem. He's actually
it
scares me
depends on
more
Nick
than the
Bolton.
receivers right now.
I mean,
Yeah.
are they
And that
trying to rush Nick
and
Bolton to
Nick
beat
Bolton
up?
and he already struggles over the middle in coverage. I
They're playing
mean,
most
as it
likely is
is.
going. That's probably going to be Tranquil's responsibility. They're probably going to put
Yeah,
it on
Yeah.
him.
Yeah,
So
And Willie Gay.
how's that gonna match up? I don't know. So
yeah.
that's just probably the only spot on defense where I probably say I have a slight concern on.
And tackling has got to be at.
One
I
thing
mean,
that
they've been good, but
yeah,
tackling's got
Yeah,
to be at the whole time.
yeah.
As soon as
but
guys
wait a
get
minute
their
though.
hands on the ball, boom, hit them.
Okay, so let me ask y'all this though. So there's they can go with the variation in that nickel where they bring in Mike Edwards. I think Mike Edwards plays deep with Cook on that. I
Mhm.
think Justin comes down. It's either Justin comes down or Mike Edwards comes down. I think it's
Or
Justin
Mike.
that comes down and plays the linebacker spot. So I mean that if they can keep Justin Reed from being exposed, if they can run maybe that defense, because Mike Edwards can play the pass a lot better. And he's a
hmm
ball hog. I mean I don't know, man. I'm just maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know.
No, I see what you.
No,
I
I
see what
hear
you're
you.
thinking.
I hear you.
I
Like I
hear you.
said,
Yeah.
no,
I have a
hear you.
question.
You,
I have a
but
question though. It's
you
like
got to keep Justin Reed out of being exposed. Go ahead, my bad.
Mhm.
no, but I
Yeah.
have a
And
question though.
one
This
thing I
guy.
was gonna say too, oh, real quick, the defensive line, the front four is gonna have to get pressure.
Yeah,
We're not gonna be able to blitz them much this game because you don't want to be exposed on Jefferson and Addison and Hawkinson. So you're gonna have to be able to get pressure with that front four without a blitz.
But even so, it's like I'll kind of go back touch the last game a little bit. Did it seem like that they blitzed a lot against Wilson last week, or was it just me?
Yeah, I think they was trying to test Zach Wilson's
Yeah.
cojones.
Hmm.
You know, Spags, he gonna blitz the heck out of a
Yeah, see,
second year
get that
young
kid to
guy.
stay in there and make them throws. Yeah,
Mhm.
He didn't
That,
get to
that
him a lot. And I
that's
was wondering. I'm like,
and
maybe
the
it's just me.
cojones.
to me, that's how much that's how much Spags has respect for the quarterback. If he blitzing you a lot, he really don't respect you.
Mhm.
If it's
Yeah.
like Joe Burrows or Josh Allen, he ain't gonna blitz them because
He's
he
sitting
know that
back.
it could kill him over the
Yeah,
top with those, especially with those receivers that they got. So whereas
that's
if
all.
it was Aaron Rodgers, you wouldn't see that blitz. You know what I'm saying? They
Nah,
wouldn't be blitzing
I'm
like that.
still expecting a 3rd and 15 and Spag styles up a blitz and Jefferson gets like a 60-yard touchdown. I'm still expecting
Not
that
on this
this game.
squad, not
yeah.
with Trent
No, they better not.
McDuffie and Darius Sneed. We ain't got Shavarius
Even
Jones
I
anymore.
mean, as much as I like them, you put them one on one with Justin Jefferson. I mean,
I
it's
know,
over.
I
As
know.
much as I like them,
He's gonna
I'm a,
win. You know what I'm saying? Like he's
Of
gonna win
course.
some of the
yeah,
matchups.
He's the best
You know
hmm
what I
receiver in the
mean?
league, of course.
Yeah,
Of course.
No DB can stay right the entire
Not with
game.
that guy.
They're gonna blow a coverage or
Exactly.
two.
Not with him.
Yeah.
They
It's
even
just all
they
like
even that
it's
that
just
even
like
happened with
Ty said.
that happened with McDuffie on one route too. He just got completely just from the jump. He didn't have a chance.
Yeah,
But
Yeah,
after that, he
Yeah.
was fine.
yeah.
but
They
it's like
Exactly.
adjust, they
Just adjust.
throw it
Yeah.
out.
it's,
Yep.
It
it's just
happens.
like, but it's just like Ty said. This defensive line got to get pressure on
That's
Kirk
yeah.
Cousins, make him rush
That's the
those
biggest
throws,
thing.
make him rush those throws, and let him be off a little bit so he can get the ball to these receivers and T.J. Hawkinson and the running
Leo
backs.
Chenal might
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
Leo Chenal
Yeah.
might be one of the biggest players in this
Pieces
game
of the
against
game.
that run
Mm-hmm.
because
Yeah, most
Minnesota's
definitely.
gonna try. They're gonna try to run.
Of
Yeah.
Yep.
course,
They
because they
they
want a little balance.
try to get their running game going.
Yeah,
What's it?
Yeah, because the
if we could
first 2 weeks
minimize their
they had
running
no
game, we're good.
balance at all, and then the
Zero.
last 2 weeks they started to
It was
find
so
it.
bad they were sending Madison death threats or racial slurs and shit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The league office had to step in and be like, "Hold on, I need to relax." You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm-hmm.
I ain't even
Yeah,
gonna get
for
started
sure.
on that one. That's a whole
Right. That's
different.
a whole different thing. I
Right.
don't even want to go there either. What's the Chiefs defensive rank? I can't even.
I think we're at ninth or
And this
eighth.
and this is scary. This is without a Minihue, and we have yet to have him 100, and we don't have 100% Bolton yet.
Yeah, for sure.
This team could very much be on their way to top five if they all
And we
get
haven't
gel and they all
even
healthy.
we haven't even unleashed Shamari Connor yet, really either. And I'm
Exactly.
I'm still
He
excited to
actually
see
did.
what he can do.
They actually did last
A
week.
little bit last week,
A
yeah.
He
little.
played a lot of nickel, and that's what it was. That's why they was able to put Trent and Legarius Sneed on the
Yeah.
outside because they let
And
Shamari
that's
Connor
what I
do
want to do moving forward. I want Trent and Snead on the outside, and then you throw Shamari
Yeah.
in the slot. That's what I like moving forward.
They eighth. They ranked eighth.
it.
They rank they
Yep.
might be a top five defense by the
Damn,
time it's
Baltimore's
all said and
top.
done.
Shocker.
Baltimore?
Baltimore's number one. Philly's right behind them. San Fran is right behind them.
And who has Baltimore
Buffalo.
played?
Hold on now. Did you hear what I said?
Buffalo.
Yeah, I heard
Buffalo's
you.
ranked fourth in defense.
Buffalo the real deal though.
And Vaughn coming back this week. They said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still
Buffalo
got to see it though because we seen it. I mean, it's like a broken record with Buffalo. We seen it the last 2 years. I know it's a completely different team and it's a completely different way of winning than what we've seen in the past. But I still got to see because normally later towards the year, Josh Allen starts having these turnovers again, and so I just got to see it again. I got to see it later towards the year
You
before I'm
need to watch
fully
the
bought in
Buffalo
on the
game.
hype.
Yeah, you need to watch a Buffalo game and see what they're doing because it's
Yeah, I think
different.
I've
they
been watching it. It's just, I mean,
you're looking for consistency
it's
down the road. I
it's
get it.
different. They're running the ball, but yeah, I'm looking for consistency. We've
When it
seen this from them before.
when
No,
it
we
gets
Even
have.
when they had Singletary, there was a couple times where they would get that running game going and then completely abandon it a month later.
I mean, when it gets colder and all that stuff, all the elements, I understand that perspective where you're coming from, Ty, on that one. But even so, with I mean, for them to do what they did with Miami, I mean, that was a bold statement right
Yeah.
there. I mean, it was the first
Impressive.
quarter. It just seemed like it was kind of like a shootout in the like in that first part of the game. But when they figured out in that second half, it was just a wrap.
Yeah.
And you know and realistically and from your perspective, Ty, I mean the bottom line they still got to go down to Miami. I totally get that. You know they got to go there and prove it the same thing and do it time and time again. They got to go against some of the heavy hitters. They still got to play the Chiefs and whatnot. And we still got a long season. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah,
The Ravens. Now, I mean that's no surprise. I mean I can't even think. I don't even think they played
Yeah.
even the top quality teams yet. So it's kind of like. I mean, part of it is because that's just that's just who they are. The Ravens, they're always amongst the top and defensively. That's just the nature of who they are.
Right.
But as far as the teams they played, that's the question mark that I have right there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. All right, fellas. On the Chiefs, who are some players to watch?
I'm gonna go with for the first one. I'm gonna go with Jawan Taylor because of what you mentioned. Yeah, I know he's
Mhm.
been being targeted. Let's just see how he responds to that. I think he made the adjustment last week because he didn't get any false start penalties. So we'll see how that works moving forward. It's gonna be the receiving core is another one. I mean, I'm just gonna put the whole receiving core because I'm not necessarily watching just one guy. I just want to see some improvement from this, from the room. And then, like I said, the defensive line, seeing, maybe FAU can get off a little bit this game. Maybe George Karlaftis has a big game. So that's what I'm going to be watching. And
Go ahead,
obviously
Mark.
the secondary, because this is the biggest matchup for him of the year.
Right. Go ahead, Mark.
Man, I mean, you definitely want to say the receiving core, but you know what? I'm just gonna call out Sky Moore. I'm just gonna make it clear as day. Because last week he only had 2 targets and had nothing to show for it. It's just clear as day for me. I granted you're young and all that stuff, but basically you're almost dang near the vet. Basically, as far as with the people that have been there, so you definitely got to call him out. Um, Defensively, I'm gonna stay with them. I'm gonna stay with them linebacker. I mean, obviously, I'm gonna go with Drew Tranquil. Matter of fact, I mean, I don't honestly with they expect Bolton to play, but that matchup versus Hawkinson is gonna be the key.
Yeah.
If they can't get a hold of him, it's gonna be a long day. But I just got to go with Drew Tranquil. I mean, he's had some areas where he struggled last week. As a matter of fact, I think one of the tight end on the Jets, I don't even know his name. He made a couple big plays down the stretch. I'm like, that's something that's got to get fixed. So Tranquil on the defensive side, it's going to be Sky Moore on the offensive side.
You got Clarence.
Offensively, I'm not. I'm
Clyde.
not. I don't even feel like I want to do offensively. I'm gonna go strictly defense. Strictly defense. Defensively for me, it's got to be if Nick Bolton is up. If he's up, then that's my player to watch because I want to
Mm-hmm.
see how they handle T.J. Hawkinson. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Also, Justin Reed this time. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? I'm tired of people talking about Justin Reed as a liability on his defense, and I guess they end up tweeting about it, and he somehow ends up seeing it, and he blocking them.
He blocked
So
D Mac. Shout out to D
you know
Mac.
what I'm saying? If he's blocking people,
Wait,
like
what happened? Wait, what happened?
D Mac put a stat out there and pretty much said that he was trying. It was more so bigging up the defense. He wasn't really saying Justin Reed was a bad player. He was just saying like this defense is really good, and the weakest link, the only weak link that I can see on
Yeah,
this
I saw that.
defense
Now,
is
yeah,
Justin Reed.
it's just
But he
Yeah.
wasn't saying he
yeah.
was bad. He was just saying like, if we're gonna nitpick, it'll be Justin Reed. And Justin Reed saw it and he blocked. So,
And then he made a post about it too.
yeah.
Hey, he having a great year. Get caught with the Rams jersey, blocked.
Yeah,
Yeah, shout out to
Crazy.
D Mac though.
It's been crazy for D But my player, I'm gonna go with Isaiah Pacheco. See if Isaiah Pacheco can
Ooh,
stack another week. Because I feel like if Isaiah Pacheco can get another 100-yard week, we win this game
he
because
gets
that
a
means we're well balanced.
if
If
he
he
get another
gets
100-yard week,
15 to 16 carries and he's got at least a buck 10 and maybe a touchdown, I think we win this game. So
when was the
um,
last time the Chiefs had consecutive 100 yards rushing by a player?
probably Kareem Hunt. Um,
That's why I said
mhm.
I'd
then
be shocked.
yeah, probably Kareem Hunt.
This time
Um,
though, this
yeah,
time,
yeah.
it is.
you know what I'm saying?
That's why I
We
I
said
all
think
I'd be
felt
it's
like
time
he
to
had
give him
that
shocked.
like
potential.
25 carries. Let him cook. Give him
That's what I
25
that
I mean,
carries. That ain't
everybody
gonna
thought he
happen.
had that potential anyway. So
Yeah.
you know what I
Yeah,
that's
mean?
one thing I did
All,
like though.
that's all everybody was talking about the upside of Pacheco. So
Mhm.
let
yeah,
it go, man. I mean, shit, you got young receivers. This gives them an opportunity to get comfortable
yeah,
I mean,
against
I
man coverage because you can't stay in the cover two with this running game gashing your ass.
yeah,
exactly.
that's
You can't
better
do it.
than the 8 carries and stuff that he was getting. Like in the first couple games, he'd be like 8 carries here and 8 carries there. I'm like, dude, like can we get a running back without double? Because like when Pat Mahomes has dang near half the carries of your running back, I think that's a problem. That's just me.
That
I'm like,
is.
you got to fix that. You can't have Pat running all the time and everything. And I mean, granted, if it happens sometimes, I get it, but That just means you got to get your running back some more carries. I mean, I like seeing him getting these 20s, see if he can break loose and get one. And I think he's done every single time where he's had double-digit carries. I mean, he's
Yeah, he
looking for a big
has.
one somewhere.
Seems like every time he gets like 12 plus carries, he has 90 to 100 yards almost, close
Mm-hmm.
to it. 90, 95 yards.
He did in the Super Bowl. He had a big run. I think he had over 10 carries that game.
Yeah.
Yep. And and throw him the ball too more. Like we said about the receivers, let Isaiah Pacheco get involved in the passing game out the backfield a little bit too.
But what are they doing with
Running backs
Clyde?
still matter in this league.
What are they doing with
Right.
Clyde?
It
You
does.
can't
I don't know.
owners.
They
You
need to
can't
start.
screw
Hey,
it over
look,
running backs. Running
look.
backs still matter.
They
Listen,
do.
I agree, Clarence. As far as Clyde goes, Andy Reid and Matt Nagy, listen to me. Listen.
Pull the camera closer.
Don't you ever in your life do a swing pass to Clyde Edwards-Helaire on the outside. That man runs like he got cement on his feet.
He's slow.
If it ain't
Slowest
straight
running back in the
ahead,
league.
only straight ahead. Straight ahead. That's it. Up the middle, up the gut. That's it for Clyde. I don't want to see no more because that corner was wide open. That
was like-
corner
is
was
slow.
wide
Slowest
open.
back
It should have
in
been
the league.
That
it should have
swing
been
pass
the
is
first
ouch.
down.
Yeah,
And
that
roll.
swing pass looked like it was in slow motion. I'm like, man, it's like is the ball up there
It
forever?
did.
He's just slow.
I don't know
And
why
then he's
Jet
running.
McKinnon did not get that play.
Right.
Because
I
if
thought-
Jet McKinnon would have got that play, it'd at least been 15 to 20 yards.
Yeah.
If it was Isaiah Pacheco, it'd probably been about 30. So I'm
It
just
looks
saying.
like Clyde's running in quicksand all the time.
Only straight ahead, people.
Okay, Ty.
Only straight ahead.
You go okay.
He said-
Okay.
Yeah, because McKinnon didn't get much action last week at all. I don't think.
I've been
Not
saying
much.
trade Clyde for the last year, and he's still on the team. He's still getting touches every week. What did he have? Like 2 carries last week, minus
His
4
trade
yards or
stock gonna
something
keep
like that.
dipping too. The more
It
teams
is.
see of
I
him,
ain't trading that man.
Nah.
Nobody want Clyde after seeing that.
You'd have to
That's
attach a
you,
pick,
you,
like a
you
6th
should
round
you
pick
should
to
have
get a
shelved
7.
him after Chicago.
And
Like
and you
that
wonder-
should have been it.
And you wonder why I
Not
said,
that he didn't play anymore after that.
and you wonder why I put in a group chat with a quickness. Browns interested? When old boy got hurt.
They don't. They
They
don't.
went
They-
and got Kareem Hunt, and they cool with Ford.
Yeah,
Right.
they don't need him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they good.
Yeah,
All
nobody
right,
wants
fellas.
Clyde.
LA, but nope.
Nope. All right, fellas. I want to play a little game. Let's play
Oh,
a game.
Man, come on.
Player confidence meter.
Negatives.
Now, how this works is the ratings are from 1 to 5, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest. I'm gonna give y'all 6 players, 3 on offense, 3 on defense. You give me your confidence meter in these players. Go from there. Number 1, Sky Moore.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
I'm gonna go with the 2.
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna go with the 2. The only confidence I have is from that Bears game. That's the only, and the Jaguars game too, because he did have the touchdown. But outside of that, it's not been good this year. It's not been what I expected at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I'm at a 2 also. It's about the same. I mean, the only reason why is because he's off to a faster start than last year. I mean, he didn't get his first touchdown until the actual Super Bowl. So that's
That's it. He's actually less efficient on routes run. He's actually been targeted less on per routes run than he was last year at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, Claire.
What's the number system?
1 through 5, 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest.
That's
You
that
can't
bull-
get negative. You can't get negatives, Clarence.
That's that bullshit right there, man.
You can't
Oh,
get negatives.
and who the player you said again?
Sky Moore. 2nd round pick from Western.
Yeah, I know we're around. Yeah.
Right after George Pickens.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
I'm gonna give him a 1. There was an out route last week, and he should have
went
came
too
back to the
deep.
damn football.
He went too deep.
He should have brought his monkey ass back to the football. Run the route the way I tell you to run an anime. I ain't think you talking to your beige ass. Run the route the way it's supposed to be ran. Prince. Okay, I'm done.
I'm gonna go 3. I'm still holding out hope.
A 3. A
I'm still
3.
holding out hope.
3.
I'm in the middle.
3.
I thought we was grading up to this point, Chris.
Listen
Yeah.
to me.
Okay, so don't
3
move the
based off of
goalpost.
what?
Try to
I
have
said 3. Okay.
Go ahead on, bro.
You
I
better
see
than
how
me.
this
3.
played. Okay, next one.
You better than me. 3 is average in my book. You don't have a receiver in the top 75.
These are my
I got something for his
opinions.
ass. Come on. Come on, Chris. I see how
This is my
we doing
opinion,
this.
and I got 3, and I'm
Ooh,
holding
it
out
might
hope
rain
for Sky
Thursday
Moore.
for the Chiefs game too. FYI, it might be a
Man,
rainy
it
game.
don't.
So I said I'm gone. I gotta play 2K.
Loose
I
bit.
got a 2K turn coming up. I'm out.
You got
I'm
an
just
NBA YoungBoy
bullshit. Come on,
concert to
man, let's
catch.
Number 2 player, Jawan Taylor.
You want me to go first? I'm gonna give him a 5, Chris.
Go ahead.
A
Oh,
5.
you gonna give him a 5?
A
A 5.
Why are you giving him a 5?
Because Chris gave Sky a 3.
Y'all act like I gave the man a 5. It's only one more than y'all number.
Hey.
You had 2. You act like y'all
Hey,
gave him 1.
no,
I
because
was more like a
3 is saying
1.7.
he's doing a good job.
No, 3 is not
He
good.
in it to win it.
He lukewarm.
Yeah,
Me in the
good
middle.
job doing
He
it.
lukewarm. Me in the
No,
middle.
3's like yeah, a little better than
Tell him.
average.
Nah, for me,
Like,
for me,
averaging 3 catches a game for 45 yards is a 3 in my book.
I don't know. For me, it's just way under. 1 is way under par. 2 is just below average. 3 is average. 4 is you doing enough to be a 2 like you're supposed to. And then 5, you basically just doing taking
Well,
over.
Sky's
doing
ass is out there like, oh, my bad. I didn't know you was finna throw it to me. I was just trying to run him off to clear something out for you. You know what I'm saying? No, motherfucker, I'm throwing you the ball. You a wide receiver. Turn your head around and catch the goddamn ball. My bad. I was just trying to clear shit out. You know, I thought I was just gonna run it off.
So,
He did that
so
shit all fucking week. And then you come to Sunday. Yeah, I'm just clearing shit out for you underneath. Come on now.
So for Jawan Taylor, you gave what'd you give him, Clarence?
But Chris gave him a 3. Ho ho ho!
Yes, I
Chris
gave him a 3
3.
because I still believe in Sky Moore.
Yeah, you supposed to, brother.
You might be one of the only ones not playing.
That's all right. I stay on this island.
What'd you give him, Clarence? What'd you give Jawan Taylor?
We gave him a 5 being a smart.
This many 5.
I'm at a 3. Only because just some of the
Good answer.
tendencies. I mean, there's still some concerns. You know, he's still got to play some of these top tier defensive ends. Yeah, I get he's getting picked on, but he's got to figure out how to rise above all that and just be the player he's capable. I mean, technically, he could be in a worse situation because let's just be real. Orlando Brown went over to Cincinnati. He playing like trash. And it's showing why he's not every bit of that dollar that he wanted.
He's terrible. Go ahead, Tom.
So
yeah, I'm gonna go with the 3 as well. I'm gonna go with the 3 because, like he said, he's being targeted on the penalties a little bit. He's still one of the highest graded pass blockers in the league, despite the penalties and everything like that. But one thing I am a little bit concerned about is I think he was high in penalties last year too. I'm trying to look it up right now.
He was.
But I think he was pretty high up in penalties last year as well. So this is definitely a concern. It's been his whole career, so I don't know that it'll get much better. I don't know.
Donovan Smith was second in penalties, I believe, last year.
If he was,
that was the concern I had.
So if he was that high in penalties,
yeah, the Chiefs were high.
Stay with me, Chris.
Mm-hmm.
Stay with me. Okay, stay with me. If he was that high in penalties, why Chris Jones ain't got his money?
Because they gave him $80 million.
If this fool for 2 years consecutively has a high penalty rate, why Chris Jones ain't got his bread, man?
This goes back to what I said.
Why are you asking me? Like I ain't.
I'm just saying because in Veach you trust.
I do envy your
Still
trust.
do. Okay.
2 Super Bowls in 6 years.
Beach,
Of
I don't
course
pay
I do.
nobody but Patrick Mahomes' ass.
2
He
Super
paying
Bowls.
nobody but Pat.
2
Listen,
Super
we ain't
Bowls.
gonna do okay. Yeah, because I said too much. I'm my bad, y'all. Listen, my bad.
2 Super
Okay,
Bowls.
we're not.
Chris,
Yeah,
two
yeah.
Super
We're not gonna do
Bowls, and who drafted Chris Jones, Travis Kelsey,
Talk to him.
Tyreek Hill?
Talk
Oh,
to
so you
him.
want John Dorsey back?
No, I don't want John Dorsey
Because he
back.
would have overpaid.
I'm
He would have
just saying.
overpaid for Daniel Sorensen. He probably would have overpaid for Tyrann Matthew too.
Right, they would still be on the roster along
And
with
we'd
the
be
other.
in cap
I'm
hell
just
right now.
saying.
We'd be
Oh,
in
oh,
cap
oh,
I'm just
Rams
saying.
right
Who
now.
drafted
we
those
would
guys?
we would still have
Selling
Neiman would still be on the roster, bro.
selling parts.
I'm not saying I want him back. I'm just saying. How much? I mean, do we? I'll give him credit mostly for last year's Super Bowl because of all the draft picks he had in that game. But first Super
Well,
Bowl though,
The first Super Bowl where he brought Frank Clark over, who was an impact
yeah.
player. Tyrann Matthew, who was an impact player.
that's true.
Sammy Watkins, impact player. He brought them over. Not John Dorsey. Yeah, you too, Clarence.
What I
That
do,
time.
man? I ain't
Because
did
I
nothing,
see your
brother.
face
Chris
over
be
there.
getting so
Hey, man,
frustrated and stuttering.
no. I'm just watching
Beat you,
you.
Chris.
I'm watching
I
you
don't
because
know.
You
you was
trust,
on your
Chris.
shit. I was just letting you get your shit out. I was like, yeah, tell him, Chris. Yeah, you go ahead on and tell him. Nah, I just want to know why you pay all that money to right
Right.
people, and Chris Jones can't get a damn dime
Yeah, I just
over
thought
1 year.
but I thought that goes back to what I was saying earlier when they
Why
paid
he
all
can't get his money?
Like, I yell in the camera.
I mean, it's kind of like there's a lot of questions behind that, as far as with Chris Jones not getting his money and all that that we feel that he deserves, stuff like that, and that goes back to the question, like I said, like, do we think they spent did they overspend a lot on tackles because they brought in Smith and they brought in Jawan Taylor? Man, that's a lot of money on tackles. You still got to address that whole situation with Chris Jones, and we were talking about that what they're gonna do with this receiver situation, and I don't know.
Honestly,
Well, don't forget they paid Jawan Taylor as a left tackle.
Yeah,
I think that was
For-
bullshit. I think that never was
Then why
going
you
to
go
happen.
get Donovan
So if
Smith?
that's the case, then why do you give a right tackle that much money? Because
Because
that's a record-breaking right tackle deal. It
because
really
they
is.
didn't because they didn't see any left tackles out there. They didn't think they was going to be in a position in the
Right.
draft to get a left tackle to start
And they
on their
weren't.
side.
They
And then
was
two,
right.
there is no left tackles out there to pay. You know what I'm saying? So either you pay Orlando Brown, which thank God they fucking didn't. So fuck it. We'll pay the right guy over here. Oh, because he's better than Wiley. Let's just
Which
call it
he
what it
is.
is. He's
Have
better
you
than
seen
Yeah.
Wiley recently?
So bump it. We'll penny pitch
all
on Donovan Smith,
all
and then next year we all know they're probably gonna have Wanye Morris be the left tackle on the
Yeah.
left side. So now you're paying a rookie and you're paying your $80 million right tackle. Voila! I still agree with you, Clarence. Yes, they should play Chris Jones. I'm not saying they should, but I'm telling you what their logic is.
All right, break it
At the
down,
end of
then,
the
brother.
day, the left tackle gonna be cheap.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
We
cheap.
paying
Just like
paying
that-
pennies to the dollar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Hey,
I
man,
mean,
Probably
Donovan
gonna
Smith
be
won a Super
gone.
Bowl too. Hey, Donovan Smith won a Super Bowl too, man.
it's gonna be interesting though going into next year because Chris Jones, what they're gonna do with him, and then you're gonna
Daniel
have Bolton coming
Sorensen
up.
won a Super Bowl too. What
Okay,
does that mean?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm just saying, like, what does that mean, though?
Don't do that. Don't do that.
That's so foolish.
Don't do that. Don't do that. So Donovan Smith is Daniel Sorensen now.
Oh motherfucker, man.
No,
Time for
no,
y'all
no, no,
shit,
no.
man.
Next person. Next person.
MVS. What is
Next
your
person. No,
MVS?
MVS
He's
is on
right.
that same.
They did win a Super Bowl.
No, MVS is on that
MVS.
Sammy
I'm
Watkins
just saying.
status where he disappeared for like 12 games. Thought he want to show up at
Justin Watson got a ring last year.
MVS. What's your confidence being in MVS?
One route.
He said one route.
Is it
It's
wrong
only
for me
one
to
route.
not?
It's a deep over route. That's the only thing he can run.
I can honestly, I cannot give any of these receivers higher than a.
I'm at a 2.
He can run a fade.
I mean, it's either a 1 or a 2. I can't give any of these receivers anything higher than a 2 because they're not one of them has cracked the top 50 as far as it compares to the rest of the league. I mean,
2. He's inconsistent.
I'm gonna go with the 2 as well. The 2.
Can I go
We haven't
one?
seen really
Can I go-
much from him at all this
I'm
year.
going.
So
Like I wouldn't be surprised if this week he got like 80 yards and a touchdown this week.
I mean, I feel like just giving him a 1 just because he's a body. But my goodness,
He a
I'm gonna say
one.
1. I'm gonna say 1.5
Yeah, I gotta give him a 1, man.
because
What has he done?
I can't
He
even
done
recall.
shit.
I mean, he had a
Yeah,
touchdown
but-
taken. He had a touchdown taken away from him. But if you take away the Bears game,
I
just don't
told
see it.
people that MVS wasn't gonna be more than what he was last year. Oh, he gonna get 1,000 yards. No, he ain't. Yeah, he is. He gonna be in the year 2.
wait,
and
who
this is-
said he
no,
was getting
ain't.
1,000 yards though? You
Man,
should
they
beat
man,
them
you
that
should
instead
have
of
Lance
me
heard
next
them.
Logan?
time.
Man, them jokers
Lance
was
Logan
all
Yeah,
over. MVS gonna be a
you should
year
have
better, man. He
viewed
gonna be in
them
this
instead of me,
another year.
Clarence.
Huh? I did. Oh, I did.
I said you should have
I was
viewed
all right.
them instead of me.
We
I
need to
did.
both of them.
Oh, trust me, Ty, I got them too. This was back in the summertime too. So you know, I was more. Listen, man, I was on the
It
road
wasn't-
back then.
It wasn't anybody in this room because we were looking up his average. He was averaging around 500-600 a season.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think we said maybe 800 or 700.
Yeah, 800. Yeah,
Yeah,
because he was
ceiling.
averaging.
that's his range. But
That's his
shit, at
ceiling.
the rate he's going this year, he'll probably get 6.
Yeah.
Maybe.
He's
Yeah,
probably only gonna
maybe.
be good for 6 this year.
if he stay healthy.
He not good, man.
That's
Listen,
true.
man. Yeah, if he stay healthy, but he's not the number one lead dog in that room.
No.
If
No.
he is,
Who is?
listen. If he is, the toughest dude on this team needs to go in there and whoop everybody's ass. I mean, everybody needs to take an ass whoop from toughest dude on this team. If MVS is the leader in that room,
He's the veteran.
somebody needs to go in there,
He said
lock
it in
the
the
door,
press
and whoop
conference.
the
I
shit
mean,
out of everybody in that room, Chris. If
He's the vet.
MVS is the leader, okay, then somebody
It-
needs to go in that
So
room. and lock
MVS
that
and
door.
Justin Watson are
Lock that door.
leaders. That's the
Somebody-
problem.
Listen,
No.
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 You not hearing me. You not hearing me. Y'all not
No,
hearing me.
I hear you.
I hear you.
Okay, so
No,
when
I
you
hear
look at
you
the
too.
Rams, if they said, okay, we're gonna call Aaron Donald on your ass, you'd be like, whoa, easy now, take it.
I mean,
I'm
he's
your
not
brother.
I think
I'm
he's
your
the
brother.
receiver leader. I don't think he's the leader like all
Hold
around.
on.
Like Patrick Mahomes is the leader. Travis
Okay,
Kelce.
okay. Then Pat needs to
Chris
go in there.
Jones.
Pat needs to go in there and lock that
Chris
door.
Jones, right.
And he
Nick
needs to
Bolton is
explain to them what an ass whooping look like in Texas. That's what Pat needs to do. Because obviously ain't nobody got the damn memo. Because somebody needs to step up and be the lead dude in that room.
Honestly,
I don't care if y'all need to fight, if y'all need to choke each other, whatever it needs to be, it needs to be. Because this is not working. This is really not working. I mean, if we just being honest, like how do you go into a game plan and say, okay, well, MVS is our number one guy, without a shadow of a doubt, he's to the left, or he's the first guy to the right in the stack. Like how?
Well, that's what your guy James Palmer said all off season.
How?
Tony.
But
you
you
got
know
12
what?
snaps last week.
Somebody bet money on Kadarius Tony making.
Yeah,
why you gotta bring up old stuff, man?
I'm just saying, like these were the projections.
That thing is fresh.
You was telling me how James Palmer was right all off season. He's gonna be wide receiver. What he comes out and gets 12 snaps in week 4. 4 weeks after an injury. He got hurt. He's been hurt.
They kept
is he
7
ever
wide
healthy?
receivers. They kept 7
you know
guys.
what?
That should have all told us something. Like they kept 7.
Well, we looked at it the other way. Oh, we got so much talent in the room, we can't get rid of them. Remember that?
Right. That's
But
what we
you know what?
did.
But even so,
that's what we said. No,
That's what we saying. We got so much talent in the room. We gotta keep 7.
Yeah.
Can we keep 8? That's what we were saying.
Yeah.
Too.
Remember?
What a bunch of dummies we was, man. Damn.
But you know what?
I was just as guilty. I was just as guilty of that.
Yeah.
You feel me?
But you
like
free Justin.
But I think even so, just the way that they're drafting and the success that they had last year should actually be in the wake up call to a lot of these veterans that you're expendable no matter how many years you've been there. You know, I think them having to give up somebody like Frank Clark and everything, that wouldn't have been ideal what they would want to do, but they did.
Frank was going to come back, but Denver just threw too much money at him. They made him an offer he couldn't refuse.
It's that, and also because they want to spend less, but they want to be able to get people that's versatile. They want to get it at the lowest dollar.
But Frank was gonna
That's
come back. Like he was gonna come
mm-hmm,
back and play with Chris. But Denver just
mm-hmm,
offered him
Yeah, I think it
entirely too
was.
much money.
mm-hmm.
That's
But they give him like
Frank.
5 or 6 mil.
Frank was all about money. Like
Yeah.
you can't turn that money down.
I mean, as he rightfully
At his
as he should. I mean, he's
where
a
he,
two-time Super
yeah,
Bowl
Right.
where
champion.
he is, because he could very well get
He's
cut
30 years
tomorrow
old.
in that defense and be
Right.
right back here in another
Yeah,
2 days. You know what I'm saying? Like
I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, I
they
mean,
just they traded
and he
away Randy Gregory
yeah, he went over to the
Yeah, to the
49ers
because
49ers.
because
The
if
rich
they
get richer.
would have cut him, because
Yeah,
if
they
they would have
do.
just released him, he was going to get $27 million regardless.
hmm
They over there. 49ers over there
Yeah.
cheap.
But you know what? Like you said, like Clark is worth every last dime of it, though. Because like realistically, though, because he had 2 Super Bowl rings, and he's basically, I think he's like 1 or 1.5 sacks away from the most sacks in the playoffs in
Mhm.
the playoffs. So he's like right there. He definitely gonna get there with the Broncos. We know
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
that.
All right,
So
let's get through this list. Justin Reed.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
He said, I'm gonna go with the 3 for Justin Reed because he still has been good in the run game. He's still a really solid tackler, but in coverage he's struggled a little bit. I will say that touchdown he gave up last week, he did trip on the helmet. So that
Yeah,
was
well,
just unfortunate.
yeah,
But other than that, he still has struggled. So I'm gonna go with the 3. And it feels a little high, but I'm gonna go with the 3.
same. I mean, you look at it, I mean, you could break it down piece by piece, and I'm actually going to give him a little grace in doing so because they're still trying to make up for some deficits in the defense. I mean, we still got a deficit on the defensive line. We're still trying to figure out when the minute he gets back, and that's going to affect their blitzing scheme and all that stuff. And you're also missing a piece in Bolton, so that's going to affect that as well as far as your linebacker rotation, all that stuff. Secondary they manage and stuff like that. And the defense is doing what they're supposed to be doing. So, but I think this still can be improved. So I'm still at a 3.
I'm gonna give him a 4, and the reason being is because over that time when Chris was out, in preseason, week 1, like it seems like Spags has taken has improved that bond between he and Justin to the
mm-hmm.
point where he depends on Justin the same way he used to depend on the Badger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he put a lot on Tyron's plate each week.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And a lot of times we saw it as his production was maybe dipping when there's a lot more that he had to take care of.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think that's what we're seeing in Justin is he's taking on that role because he's fully immersed in his defense. He probably knows it like the back of his hand. He could probably call what Spags is going to call before Spags calls it now. So he's constantly adjusting and trying to make sure everybody else is lined up right. And maybe before you know it, like he thinks he's good, but he's not because he's too busy taking care of everybody else, and he's not doing his own self care on himself. So,
That's
and
true.
in that event, then you don't look like the most solid guy out there. You know what I'm saying? Is he a step? Is he a step slow? Yeah, yeah. His speed could be better, but you're asking him to come up and fill the run too. You know what I'm saying? So he needs that
hmm
size. You know what I'm saying? So I give him a 4, man, because he's a leader on this defense, and them dudes really do listen to him, and he can galvanize them and get them up. So his play is bigger.
I
Just
go 3. I go 3.5.
yeah,
I go 3.5 for the reasons that Clarence said.
Yeah.
Justin said 3.5. Brian Cook.
that's a good one. That's a really good one.
I'm gonna go with the. Oh man, I'm kind of stuck on this grade.
Yeah.
Man, that dude will come down and smack you like
Yeah, he will.
I'm gonna give him a 3.5 also because the jury's still out. You know what I'm saying? He's still learning. He's his second year. And like Clarence says, he will hit you now. He will hit you. he made the play of the game last week.
Yeah.
Let's
Yeah,
not forget that.
Yeah, he did.
yeah, he made up
He's
for
a really
one.
good
Play
tackler.
of the
Yes, he
game.
Yeah.
is, man. And he got
Like,
speed too. He got some burners on
He
him too.
does.
I didn't like. I wasn't anticipating him being that
To
impactful.
come on this early. Right.
Yeah,
That
dog.
that's the only reason. I think that's the only reason why I'm gonna say I'm at a 4 with him because he's a little
Me
bit
too.
ahead of pace. That's the only reason why.
Yeah.
And he
Yeah,
did.
he's
I mean, he had one play and say where they got the touchdown. He was just like a half step late. It was just a little bit late, but then he know how to make up them plays. And, that's something that you typically see on the offensive side of the ball, but the defensive side of the ball now you're starting to see it. So that's why I give him a 4.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I give him a 4 for the reasons y'all said. I mean, he's a really good tackler, like we seen in that last game. He has really good speed, like Clarence said. He can play deep. He can come up and play in the box. He's very versatile. Safety, that's what Spags likes in his system, anyways.
Mhm.
So we got 3 of them this year, though. Really, if you think
Yeah.
about it, because Mike
Right.
Edwards is versatile too. And
Yeah.
then obviously we already know what with Justin Reed, like you said, he kind of has that Tyrann Matthew role. So we got some really versatile safeties.
Who got hurt? Was it Johnson? 13.
Yeah, Najee Johnson. Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Man,
man.
what could have been?
He's now you want to talk about speed? That boy fast.
Whew.
He was a 4.340.
Mhm.
That's
All
crazy.
right, last one. George Karlaftis.
Big George. George. Come on, George. Come on, Big George.
4. He's still effective. He's still effective. He's getting in the backfield and stuff like that. I got to look at the stat line. That's the one thing I kind of forgot.
He's at the top with pressures. I know that.
Yeah. So I'm at
Yeah.
a 4. I'm at a 4 with him. I think you're starting to see the hard work he's putting in the offseason pay off. I mean, you got to look at Karlaftis. Karlaftis didn't come on until like mid-season until late, where he had
Yeah,
like a
like
string
week
where he had
8,
like
week 9.
five consecutive sacks, and you've seen some of the different things with Hali. I know he had been working with Tamba Hali on the offseason. So he's been mentoring him and stuff like that. And it's coming off early. And for him to step in and do what he needed to do, even when Chris Jones in this brief absence, and they kept it together. I mean, it wasn't like they had a ridiculous game where they had like 40 points and everything. They're keeping around that 20-point range, and he's part of that contribution to why the Chiefs defense is what it is. So I'm at a 4.
Yeah, I'm at a 4 with him.
Yeah, I'm a
Yeah, I give him a 4.
Yeah, I'll give him a 4, and I was close to giving him a 5. But one thing I want to see George improve on more is getting sacks within. I think it's under like 2.5 or 3 seconds. He struggles to get those sacks under that time. He does have a really high motor, so he gets a lot of sacks after that 3-second mark. But I'm looking to see more pressure early. So that's one thing I just want to see him improve on.
I
But
think he's got
everything else is good. Like you said, the pressures, he's top of the league in that. I know he'll start to turn those into sacks more as we go throughout the season. So
That's why I think
I think he's gotten a little bit better with that, though. I see the progression in him getting off of his first move, and hitting it with a move and going bending, being a little bit more bendier around that corner. So I see improvement in that. But I hear you, Ty. You want to see that more consistently, but I see the progression.
I think the wild card to that is that last year you're talking about when he was surrounded, when he had Frank Clark and then Bolton. They were playing early in the season. They were healthy. We still got to factor in that Omenihu has yet to hit the field, and he could be that guy. He's going to be that guy who replaces Clark, and then I mean that's the biggest thing that makes me excited about this defense. We have yet to see Bolton, Jones, and Omenihu in that secondary all working in one cohesive piece for a complete game. We have yet to see. Cause I think it was game 2 where Bolton got hurt, somewhere around there.
Yeah,
and then that's when Jones, he was making his comeback, and I'm like, we really never got to see that. That's why I said, we were talking about is that realistically, can we see this Chiefs defense being a top 5, and all the different pieces and components that they have, they're very much in range to do it. I think he's like, look at the teams that they played, and they've done everything that you can ask for. You're holding them around 20 points a game, which is far better than what we've seen in past. This is the best defense that Pat has had on the side.
At 15. It's at 15 points again.
Yeah.
15? I'll take it. Oh yeah, because he had Jacksonville. He had like 9, and then So yeah, they right there. They're doing good.
And I think when Charles comes back, I think you should kick him on the inside, honestly, and put him next to Chris.
Well, I think that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah, I think that's the
Yeah,
plan.
yeah, I think you're gonna see. I think you're gonna see that same. Cause I think you're gonna see Carlotas. You're gonna see those sack numbers start to go up. I mean, I think even as a team, I think there's going to start to go, those numbers are going to start to climb.
And I
The
think
pressures
that'll
are
help
there.
out. I think that'll help out FAU too when he comes back.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it'll help him out too. So, all right, man. Good job, fellas. All right, what's y'all biggest matchup y'all looking at?
I'm gonna go with the corners versus their receiving core. I guess I could just go with the defensive backs, including the safeties, versus all the receiving options, including the running backs and tight ends. That's what I'm gonna go with as the biggest matchup. That I mean, this is the biggest test for this defensive back room to this point. Probably one of the biggest tests of all year when we talk about weapons.
For sure.
which tight end is going to come out on top better? Is it going to be Kelsey or is it going to be Hawkinson? Because we have questions. Ty's asked this question. As far as with he threw out the 0.0 stat in man coverage. He's like, is that number gonna change? And how is he gonna fare against these linebackers? Or are they gonna put a corner on Kelsey? And on the other side of it, how will they be able to contain Hawkinson? Can they be able to contain him? That's going to be the key to the game for me. I mean, like we said, Jefferson gonna get his. That dude is just an absolute terror to any corner. It don't matter. You could be the number one. It could be Jair Alexander covering him. You can be a headache for him too. But I just think, just with the matchup, trying to guard somebody like Hawkinson and everything, which I thought was crazy for Detroit to let go. But hey, it worked. It worked. Can they contain him and make sure and give him a low production? Force this team to be one dimensional and try to only target one player.
Mhm. So me,
Go ahead, Clarence.
Butker.
it's probably more so Kirk Cousins
Uh-huh.
versus his secondary.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that's fair.
Given the fact that it's in Minnesota,
Yeah.
can this secondary just ride that wave and just deal with that first gust of energy that Minnesota's going to spit out and not get caught up in the fact that should TJ Hawkinson get a big play or Justin Jefferson get a big play, don't let it fester and don't let it, you know, get them out that game and more bad habits start to build upon each other and before
Right.
they can't get control of it and it's too late. So
I'm gonna go these receivers versus their corners, and I'm going to go this defensive line versus their interior offensive line. So that'll be a matchup that I'm looking for. Because if we can win on those both matchups, then we win the game.
thanks.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Last but not least, score prediction. Clarence's favorite.
Clarence's favorite.
What you got? What you got, Ty?
I got 35-31 Chiefs winning. I think it's going to be a higher
Stop
scoring
doing that
game.
shit, Ty.
What? What I
Always
do?
go
What
beat my
did I
ass
do?
scores every week, man. You know when the last time they scored? The Bears. When other time have they scored 30 points this year, Ty?
Well, they only played 4 games.
Yeah.
Ty.
They've scored 30 points in 25% of their games. I'll take that. I got 35. I think it's going to be a higher scoring game. The Vikings defense is going to struggle, I think. I think this is going to be a Ray She Rice game. I think Ray She Rice is going to have 100 plus yards Sunday.
What was the score prediction, Ty? Besides
35-31.
I'm gonna go with 24-17. I think the defense going to continue to. I think defense going to continue to do what they need to do. I think they'll have the Minnesota
What you
trending
say
around
again? 34-17?
No, 24-17. I don't know if they can get past 30 the way they looked. I think it's not gonna be one of those shootout kind of games. I think it's gonna be one of those games where it might drag for a little while. I think it's gonna take a little while for them to get going. I think the defense will step up and do what they need to do. I think it's gonna take a point where you're gonna see some frustration, not just with the players, but with the fans, stuff like that. It's gonna be one of those slow developing first halves. I just got a feeling. In the second half, I think they'll figure it out.
Go ahead, Clarence.
I'm gonna go 27-20. 27-20.
I'm going 31-24.
Player of the game predictions.
Patrick LeVar Mahomes, the second.
Mm-mm.
He said,
What'd you say again? 27-1? 20?
27-20. Yeah. 27-23, actually.
20?
Yeah.
Another nail biter.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Another great show.
Duh.
yes, sir.
We did this for you people. 2 shows. Especially you, Joe. Shut up.
You know you're gonna have his mouth
Because
moving,
I know
man.
you're saying something right now.
Yeah, he can't
He's
sit still for 2 minutes.
He's probably tweeting something at me right now.
Man, ain't no telling.
Justin Watson.
I'm so glad that it's muted, Ty. I'm so glad it's muted. I'm not doing this with your ass today, man. I told you. Keep on. I ain't gonna do it. I got to because KU play tomorrow. So rock chalk.
You gotta unmute me. Yeah, I'm gonna
Yeah.
be there too.
You going to the game?
Yeah, I'm going.
I'm jealous, man. Enjoy yourself, man. Take some pictures, something, man.
You know it.
Who y'all play tomorrow?
You know it. UCF.
Yep.
Y'all beat you.
We get our quarterback back tomorrow.
Hopefully.
Dang.
Man, he better play tomorrow. Okay, so if he don't play tomorrow, then he better play on the 28th. Because they
Yeah.
play Oklahoma on the 28th.
They play Oklahoma. We got LSU, baby.
There might be a lot of blowouts this weekend.
Whooped. LSU gonna dog walk y'all.
LSU's defense ain't good. They
No,
118th in the nation.
but the difference.
Wait,
the
really?
margin of
118?
speed,
118th.
that margin of speed between Columbia, Missouri, Baton Rouge.
There's not one receiver that's better than Luther Burton on LSU.
Malik Neighbors.
He ain't better.
Yeah, he is.
He ain't better.
I would say he is. I mean, it's close, but it is really close.
What you shaking your head?
Nobody care about no. Never mind.
You don't care about Luther Burton?
No, I don't care about Missouri.
You don't care about KU?
That's
Look
okay.
at it. Look
We
at
don't
it.
need y'all to care. We don't
Exactly. We got rings and national championships.
As long as y'all
In
acknowledge us,
basketball.
We got
as
an
long
Orange Bowl in
as
football.
long as y'all
We don't got
acknowledge
that.
us by
basketball.
the end of the year,
You
y'all
got
will
the Orange
acknowledge
Bowl,
us.
Chris.
Y'all will acknowledge us by the end of the
Never.
year.
Never acknowledge it. I don't care if y'all
You're gonna
went
acknowledge
undefeated.
it.
It still
We
wouldn't
will
acknowledge
be
it.
acknowledged.
Did Missouri ever win the Orange Bowl?
Yeah. Like
When?
1935, but they did.
Exactly.
Come on
Yeah.
now, Fox.
But
Whatever.
we're the basketball school.
Whatever.
Mm.
All right,
What's
y'all. If you look down at the bottom, you see the link, emqpodcast.com/locker-room. If you hit that link, you'll see the locker room access of all the podcasts under the Every Morning Quarterback podcasts. They got a 49ers one, they got a Patriots, a Jets, they got ours, Arrowhead Chief Podcast. Click the banner to see all our episodes, recent and past ones. Go ahead and check them out. Also, check out their podcast. They talk about everything league wide. They talk about college football. They give you betting tips. So go ahead and check out, subscribe to Every Morning Quarterback. Follow them on Twitter at EMQ Podcast. If you look down at the bottom, We are available on all streaming platforms, whether it be Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon, iHeartRadio, whatever you listen to your podcast on. Arrowhead Chief Podcast is on there. And whatever social media platform you use, whether it be X, uh, Facebook, Instagram,
X.
Threads, Twitch, we're on all of them. Follow us. We'll follow you back. Because Clarence, what's our motto?
I mean, we not Hollywood, but
We have a right to be.
we do. Yeah, we just ain't Hollywood. I'm working on me, so excuse me.
Yeah, we're not Hollywood. We'll follow you back. Give us some feedback, critiques, questions, topics about the Chiefs and nothing but the Chiefs. I don't want to hear nothing about nothing else. I don't care about whatever football team that you represent and you're not a Chiefs fan. I don't want to hear it. I don't care if it's the Bengals, the Chargers, whatever. If it ain't the Chiefs, we ain't talking about your topic.
Man, that's
Just know
segregated.
that.
Dang it.
Huh?
No.
If it's KU, we definitely not talking about you.
And if you talk about old heads, they will mute you.
Okay.
Stop.
See,
Okay. See, you see the type of energy you've had today, Todd.
you get
See
muted.
that?
for that.
You see, okay, so
You
you
get
just
muted.
this is why.
You get muted. Anyway, don't listen to him. He about 12, way behind the ears.
Ty is being a real asshole today, ladies and gentlemen. Ty has been on one all day.
Still mad about the halftime show representative.
Don't even get him started.
Yeah, please don't get him started on that. But no, go ahead and follow us. We'll follow you back. And hit us up, man. We'll hit y'all back, man. For sure. Also, like, subscribe, hit that notification button if you're new. So when we do on Mondays, when we have our lives, it'll pop up. And on Saturdays, when the episode drops, boom.
Yeah, we appreciate
Right
y'all.
quick.
For real.
Yeah, man. Subscribers is going up, fellas. We're at 82.
We getting there.
You know, I know Clarence don't care about Facebook, but we're at like 20,
No, I don't mess with the Facebook.
We're at like 21. We're almost at 2,200 followers.
The Facebook is the devil.
2,200 followers, Clarence. Like 21 and some likes. That's where our fan base is at, man. That's where they love us at.
I appreciate them. I have my own personal reasons as to why I do not congregate in the Facebook. Okay.
They love us over there, though. Shout out to all the people, everybody.
Yeah,
Twitter,
I appreciate y'all. Facebook,
Instagram.
Really appreciate it.
Oh, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Like, thank y'all. For real. Thank y'all for going on Facebook and watching and liking. Appreciate it.
Stuff.
Means the world. For real.
All right, I'm gonna unmute Ty. All right, yeah, I'm muted, Ty. You okay?
What you gotta say, Ty?
Say something, Ty.
He said, "What do you got to say? What do you mean? What do I got to say?"
I'm just curious, man.
I know you're growing something.
What do you say? Old heads blocking him, or something like that. Like
old heads.
Yeah, he used to refer to me because I muted his ass.
Yeah, I was referring to you.
He was triggering and targeting. You're like he woke up like that. Like first thing this morning. Like who does that? He do right there.
He said he did.
Who do it? Ty. I'm like, I'm not doing this today.
Yeah,
I can tell by that first tweet how the day was gonna go. I'm like, I'm not doing it. Nope, I refuse.
Yeah, it was like every other like tweet. Like
I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I can think of worse. I can think of worse stuff than that though.
He was setting up bombs. No, Mark, he was setting up bombs over here, man. He just First, he was attacking like every Chiefs. Like it was like Sky Moore trash.
Yeah.
Justin Watson, he need a haircut.
Well, I mean, is it true or is it not true?
I'm
just saying the truth.
Justin Watson need a haircut. You so disrespectful. You so fucking disrespectful.
Hey, I'm just
every other time. I was like, damn, Ty.
I'm not.
Bet Beach needs to be fired. I was like, God,
No, I never sitting down. Now you're just making stuff up.
you might as well.
all I'm saying. If you get him a touchdown or 10 or 5 more catches more, I ain't mad at it. But
Yeah, for sure. All right, fellas. Till Monday.
Been a pleasure.
Till Monday. See y'all.